Yeah, I started bike racing when I was pretty young, 10 years old, and yeah, inspired by my dad.
My wife and myself are sporty, so it was not a surprise that our children would go and like sports.
I was starting with mountain biking, but at the junior category, so when I was 70 years, I switched to road racing because yeah, it suits me better. Yeah, and I had really good years as a junior for the National Federation, taking part in the Worlds, and then Rabobank development team, one of the best development teams in the world. They asked me to join their squad, and yeah, so as first year on under 23 rider, I had also a very good year with good results. But after that, I got some troubles, yeah, with injuries in my leg. There was a vein, yeah, by my muscle, and my muscle put off my vein, and my leg didn't get enough blood anymore. So that was it took really long to discover what the problem was, and then 2 years flew over, and after my contract didn't, yeah, was not extended at the Roompot, yeah, I had to rethink my decision to go on with cycling or stop. But then, yeah, I found when I sit on the bike, I feel free. I feel, yeah, to ride in the nature, and that's the best feeling you can have, I think. I found the joy in cycling back, and but I also, yeah, discovered that that beach racing and off-road racing attracted me more and more, because the professional races are really controlled by the pro teams and sprinters. And also in road races you got more and more gravel sections, and that were the races I liked the most and I could perform at my best. So
beach biking is a bit more, then you have to push the pedal real hard all the time, so that was more close to what he's good at.
Yeah, I live in Bergen, North-Holland, and it's only 5k from the beach. And in this area, beach racing is very popular. You have one of the biggest beach races in the world. That's also always in the beginning of January. And yeah, it's very famous. But the beach races are short, 1.5 hours. So it's a little bit different training. But 2019 I had a really good year with 4 UCI Pro wins, and that was my last chance to get back to the pro level.
And then the gravel scene came in, and thought, yeah, gravel bike, that's then it's just like beach biking. You need to push the pedals real hard all the time. There is no time to just sit back and relax. So yeah, we thought, yeah, now he has found his destination. This is what he was made for.
So then, yeah, Willier came at me at the end of 2021 with the question if I could ride the whole gravel calendar for them, and that was, yeah, I was really happy with with that offer.
Allora, nel 2021 ci eravamo dati l'obiettivo di riuscire a trovare un atleta che potesse essere all'altezza del lancio della bici Rave SLR nel mercato, quindi un atleta che potesse dare il segnale della competitività della bicicletta e quindi l'essere nei primi a livello mondiale nelle competizioni gravel che stanno un po' alla volta crescendo sia in Europa che extra Europa. Noi abbiamo ritenuto opportuno scegliere Ivar Slik per il fatto che era un atleta che usciva dal mondo strada, ma già aveva dato ottimi segnali sia nel ciclocross e in altri percorsi fuori strada di avere le giuste doti per poter dominare nelle competizioni gravel. Il rapporto si è subito instaurato nella maniera migliore e Ivar ci ha anche aiutato a sviluppare nuovi prodotti sul segmento gravel.
Traka was my first race for Willier Trestina, and I didn't feel pressure from the company, but for myself I trained the couple of months before I started with hard training, and so it was the first real big moment of the season, and I didn't know the competitors very good, and to cross the finish line as first was the perfect start for me, and Girona is like gravel Valhalla, so it was a great week. Yes, Marit is my girlfriend since almost 3 years, and we are both quite fanatic, and she's riding for a World Tour team, American World Tour team, Human Powered Health, and she rode big races like Tour de France Femmes. It's hard to plan moments together, but in my first gravel race this year, the 1st of May in Traka, Girona, the service schools of Human Powered Health is in Girona, so that was a perfect moment to combine a little vacation and also race, important race for me. My granddad is a big example for me. He's now 92 years old, and he had a farm, a bulb farm, and he always worked really hard, and besides that he was a really good speed skater. I've got the mentality really from my granddad, I think, and every morning I go drink some coffee at him and we talk about the race, and he's also interested in what I'm doing now, and he's 92 but still very active, so that's really cool to see, and he's my big inspiration. Cycling is physical, but it's also really a mental game. You have to really be confident in yourself, and when you feel relaxed, you have to think, everyone feels relaxed now. Now I have to attack. When you have pain, you have to attack. And now I can push really deep also on training rides to get myself in the best shape. It rains a lot here, and I'm riding a lot also on the Willier Filanto road bike, besides my gravel bike, and the weather is always hard and mostly shit in the winter. But my body is physically made for bad weather conditions, so that's an advantage for me, and especially when the race is also hard, like this year was a lot, then I have some advantage of that.
From the start, we like them to enjoy the bike and enjoy the environment and the trips and the training and all that. And it was, for us, it was not important to. We were not looking for the competition or something like that. That was. Well, obviously, if you like it and do it a lot, and you have some talent, and it becomes more and more. Then the competition will be there, but it wasn't a goal to have children that were champions of anything. It was just the fun was important indeed.
In North Holland, they call it nuchter, but they don't really mind if I if I win or if I got 20. As long as I'm happy what I'm doing, then it's good, and I'm really grateful for that. And at that moment you don't realize that, but now you know what they did for you, and yeah, that's really nice. I feel like I'm in the best shape ever, so I try to win and everything is going well. I think it's possible. We are at the main street of Emporia. It's called Commercial Street. Here is the start and finish of Unbound Gravel. And the bike expo is now, and interviews with the riders and bike checks. So this is the place to be, and the whole city walks out to here. Yeah, the key points from Unbound this year, it was perfect race for me. Normally I want to go full gas from the beginning, but Unbound is a very long race, so I need to keep myself calm, and I try to focus on my nutrition and look around a little bit and not too much with the race. And I had a plan after 200k. Let's see where we stand then, and then maybe attack when I feel I have good legs. And yeah, the race went for me really good, because Laurens ten Dam attacked with Paul Vos and Mattia De Marchi after 100k, and we were left over with a group of 25. And yeah, everybody got a little bit nervous because they had a big gap, and yeah, we turned around with 25 riders. So the cooperation was really good, and it costed not so much energy for every rider.
And we saw we were still at the front, so we got more and more excited here. And then, the next moment there was no head. We just saw the finish line, so we didn't know for an hour what's going on again.
And then we came at Texaco Hill. There was a hilly section with a lot of rocks and steep climbs. And it began to rain heavily, and yeah, we saw Paul Vos coming back, Mattia De Marchi coming back, so Laurens was solo in the front. And then I decided to attack, and I saw only Keegan Swenson in my wheel. So then I thought, I have really good legs today, and we passed Laurens, and we were in the first two positions. And Piet Stetina, Alexei Vermeulen and Ian Boswell could come back, so we were at 5. And then at the last checkpoint, Stetina, he had also a hanger flat. We were at 4, so it was really a hard race with a lot of mud. And
at the end, the live coverage was better, so my wife was in front of the television with her smartphone and sharing that picture with others, so they had a live coverage, and we went shouting from "Go Ivar, go Ivar!"
Yeah, then the last steep climb, Ian Boswell attacked, but I could follow him, and the sprint finally went very good, and I could take the victory and cross the finish line as first. This one is from Moog.
And we saw him finish there, and there was the statement that Ivar won. So then we cheered up, obviously, and it was amazing, unbelievable, I would say. Yeah.
That was really the key moment of my career. It was such, after the finish line I was overwhelmed with media and press and the interviews. Yeah, I got so much attention from whole America, but also from Europe. It was bigger than I expected. So yeah, that was yeah, it was incredible, and it was so nice to win that race as first non-American rider, and also in a record time. So yeah, that makes me even more proud.
Ovviamente aver vinto l'Unbound quest'anno è stato per noi un punto di svolta, forse nel gravel, perché comunque ci ha posto come brand, insomma, ecco, tra, possiamo dire, non l'Olimpo, perché magari non è ancora una disciplina che ha molti anni e molta tradizione. E lo abbiamo visto, insomma, ecco, anche dai numeri che abbiamo fatto, dai contenuti che abbiamo prodotto e pubblicato, hanno veramente, insomma, per la nostra realtà ha fatto buoni numeri, insomma.
Ci eravamo organizzati nella speranza che ad Unbound Ivar potesse fare un grande risultato. Onestamente la vittoria era un sogno e poi quando si è avverata ci siamo trovati al posto giusto, al momento giusto, e ovviamente poi dopo tutto il resto è stato una conseguenza, una bella conseguenza, perché vincere un evento del genere al primo anno, al debutto, è qualcosa di fantastico. Credo che forse anche qui non ci siamo resi conto fino in fondo la portata di un successo del genere, dato che è successo in America, ma credo che negli anni prossimi riusciremo ancora a massimizzare quanto raccolto ad Unbound.
Beh, la vittoria all'Unbound ci ha resi particolarmente orgogliosi. Il nostro DNA aziendale è fare biciclette da competizione, tutti i nostri prodotti sono volti a avere le massime prestazioni, vincere la gara vuol dire aver raggiunto il risultato. Rave SLR è stato un processo, noi siamo un'azienda che ha sempre lavorato nel mondo corsa, il nostro DNA sono le gare da corsa, e ci siamo affacciati nel mondo gravel quando appunto questo fenomeno è esploso. Noi abbiamo creduto subito al gravel, ci è piaciuto subito e abbiamo costruito subito una gamma di prodotti. Alla fine abbiamo voluto fare anche un prodotto specifico che fosse da competizione, che fosse leggero, che fosse aerodinamico, che fosse adatto a vincere le gare. Abbiamo lavorato sodo, ci sono appunto diversi aspetti che abbiamo dovuto tenere in conto: l'aerodinamica, il razio tra la leggerezza, la rigidità, la robustezza, insomma sono tante piccole cose che sono dovute combinare assieme, e alla fine il risultato è stato eccellente. Insomma, la vittoria finale è stata la classica ciliegina sulla torta.
In Unbound I was riding on the Willier Rave SLR with 40mm Schwalbe tires, G1 race speed. Yeah, it was the perfect tire choice, and my crank, I chose a bigger chain ring than normal. So I was riding with a road crank, 50-34, and in the back an 11-28. So yeah, it's not that hilly there, so it was perfect. And I was riding with the road pedals and with the new Miche root wheels, Carbo root wheels. And yeah, finally Willier, also the Willier Filante handlebars, really aero handlebars, and really comfortable. So yeah, it was in the final it was the perfect bike setup. In February I was at the headquarters of Willier, and yeah, it was really impressive with the museum where you saw bikes of Marco Pantani, Alessandro Petacchi, Alessandro Ballan, Gilberto Simoni, and yeah, that was really cool to see, and it's like a big family, and yeah, it was quite impressive, and yeah, it felt immediately good. We share the same vision, and we are all both race-minded, so yeah, and they gave me the best support I could wish for this year. Also, yeah, you have really the feeling that you're top priority for them, and that's a nice feeling.
Anche nel caso di Ivar Slik riteniamo strategica la collaborazione che abbiamo iniziato con lui, non solo per il fatto che è nostro ambassador a livello performance sul gravel a livello mondiale, ma è anche una fondamentale risorsa che ci aiuta a sviluppare il prodotto e ci dà continui consigli e suggerimenti e feedback su ciò che noi continuiamo a sviluppare in termini di ricerca e sviluppo e quindi in ciò che noi possiamo poi successivamente dare come mezzo tecnico a un singolo consumatore.
Ivar ci ha chiesto di poter montare l'extension sul suo manubrio, solo che il manubrio di serie che monta non può di serie montare perché è aerodinamico, è un prodotto da corsa, quello che usano i professionisti della Stana per capirsi, insomma, quindi è un prodotto particolare. Allora abbiamo disegnato delle parti in metallo che potessero permettere di montare queste extension. Abbiamo speso tempo, abbiamo speso denaro parecchio e qualche giorno prima della gara gliel'abbiamo spedito agli Stati Uniti, è arrivato l'ultimo momento, montato, pronti via ed è andata bene.
Seguire queste corse che non hanno copertura magari mediatica, almeno qui in Europa, live come siamo abituati a vedere i grandi giri, è stato un po' insomma, impegnativo anche un po' per lo stress del sabato sera, perché di fatto era sabato sera se non ricordo male, e ovviamente guardando il tracking, vedevamo Ivar davanti, dietro, insomma, è stato un po', e ovviamente parallelamente su WhatsApp ci continuavamo a scrivere tutto il sabato sera che dovevi passare con la famiglia.
Sì, poi nella chat che abbiamo aziendale ognuno aveva informazioni differenti sull'andamento della corsa e quindi non si capiva dove fosse Ivar, se davanti, dietro, così. E io ricordo, ero a cena con la mia compagna e stavo tutta la sera a guardare il telefono e a guardare il tracking e lei era molto arrabbiata di questo perché tutta la sera a mangiare con il telefono e a vedere dove fosse Ivar. Da questo primo anno sia nato un percorso da fare insieme ad Ivar che ci auguriamo nei prossimi anni anche possa dare enormi soddisfazioni. Cioè, ne siamo convinti, credo che anche da parte sua ci sia il massimo impegno. Ci piace poi che lui è dedicato 100% al mondo gravel e questo qui è anche una cosa che ci ha subito colpito perché tanti atleti che abbiamo anche cercato erano ancora diciamo a mezzo servizio tra gravel e strada, gravel, mountain bike, mentre lui fin dall'inizio ha detto no, io voglio fare gravel, credo nel gravel e nei prossimi anni per quanto sia ancora giovane e possa magari avere anche un futuro su strada, voglio invece spostarmi sul gravel in quanto credo di poter ambire a grandi risultati lì e finora ha avuto e abbiamo avuto ragione.
Yeah, Ivar and me know each other from when we were racing for Continental cycling team on the road. It was called Park Hotel Valkenburg, and that's where we started to race together. And after a couple of years, I had already a sock business called Sokkoloon. I asked Ivar to help me with the sock business, and then we started working together for the sock business and also racing together. Since 2 years we went for gravel together and we were still working together, and then we started to do a gravel calendar full together. So we travel all year together to the races, we do the same calendar, we train a lot together, we work together. So that's how the friendship started and how we know each other.
It's always funny with him to travel and to train. And last May we were for 4 weeks in America, and that's pretty long. In the beginning, yeah, it's long to 4 weeks with one guy. But in the end, it was a very nice period, and about cooking, and Jasper he can't cook, so. One day we did broccoli, you know broccoli?
I'm not so good at cooking. Ivar helped me, he said you have to cook it for 15 minutes maximum, and I cooked it too short. I cooked it for like 5 minutes and then I took it out and put it on the plate and Ivar was trying and it was still so hard, you know, that it was not nice to eat. So then he said, yeah, you need to cook it a lot longer. And we made stories about it on Instagram, and everybody at home was laughing at this because we were yeah, not doing so well with cooking the broccoli.
So we had some troubles with cooking, but we eat very healthy, and in America it's hard to find healthy food, so we had to cook every night, and we improved on that side. Yeah, 3 weeks ago was my first gravel race after Unbound again in Sweden, Gravel Grit and Grind, a UCI gravel series, and yeah, I was starting there, and the next week in Houffalize and Italy for Strade Bianchi Monferrato, so 3 nice races on the program. But unfortunately, at the reckon of the course before the race, I crashed hard on my face, and yeah, I spent my day in the hospital. Yeah, I got 2 surgeries at my mouth, so I got a lot of stitches, and yeah, a little concussion. My helm was broken, and I couldn't take part anymore at the race, and also the other 2 I needed to skip. So yeah, that was quite a bumper, especially when I look out a lot of time to the races, and yeah, now it didn't go as planned, but yeah, cycling career is always with up and downs, and yeah, this year is one with up and downs, and in the end it was not that bad, because after 1 week the stitches were removed, and I could already bike. I could jump on my bike for some easy rides, and after 10 days I could train again. So yeah, then my next race was yesterday, the 17th of September, UCI World Series in the Netherlands. So I was happy that I made it to there. In the beginning, I had not a perfect race like in Unbound. I crashed in the beginning and I needed to chase back for quite a couple of Ks. And then after 30 Ks I came at the front. We were at 7, and yeah, after 10 K we dropped 2 riders, so we were at 5, and that was the decisive move. And yeah, we needed to go for 75 K or something. And there were 4 other strong riders, so yeah, I was quite confident we went to the finish with them. And yeah, Piotr Havik, another good rider there, he attacked with already 50 K to go, so that was really early. And I thought when we turn around with 4, we could catch him back, but yeah, the cooperation was not that good. So after 20 K before the finish, I attacked with Andreas Stokbro from Denmark, and we closed the gap and up and over him, so we were 2, and then we were riding for the victory. But I also felt I was running out of fuel, so because it was a really hard race, 150 K of pushing to the mud and sand, and yeah, last 1.5 K, Andreas Stokbro attacked, and yeah, I just couldn't follow anymore. So I second place, but yeah, when I look back where I came from, I didn't thought that I could already be second now. So in the end, I'm happy with second place. The first World Championship gravel is next month, 3 weeks in Veneto. And it's almost at the headquarters of Willier, so that's really special. And it's beautiful surroundings with wide Strade Bianchi roads. And I saw the course, it's 190 K. In the beginning you have some steep climbs, but it's mostly flat, and also some tarmac. So yeah, I think the race will suit me and yeah, to become the first world champion gravel is, yeah, that's a really big goal for me. Then you go in the history books. So yeah, I will really try to win that race and be there in my best shape.
Another guy could be in the back end, Dutch Ride Alversloek. The biggest US race was the Unbound, so that's their 200-mile epic endurance race. He was the winner of that this year.
The race was pretty easy, but I couldn't do anything. Really disappointing day.